I think we have to say that the Cavaliers are championship contenders. I heard on the Athletic podcast, they brought up, I don't believe the exact stat, but it's either if you have a win percentage above a certain amount or you lose 15 or less games in the regular season, every single team that had a record like that in the regular season made it to the NBA Finals. And the only ones not to win it is the legendary Golden State Warriors team that lost to LeBron. So before we start today's video, we'll talk about the fact that Eastern Conference Finals, if it's not the Cavaliers in Boston, the Knicks are the third most likely team. But it seems like this could really be a Thunder's Cavs final, Nuggets Cavs. But I want to hear your opinions in the comment section. What do you guys think? Hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this. And to me, I agree. I think if you have not been paying attention, the Cavs really have just become absolute juggernauts. Over the last few seasons, they were defensive stalwarts, a team that JB Bickerstaff had made into defense first, rely on the shot creation of their guards, Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, clean up the messes. Now, to me, I think that was something I found fascinating when Kenny comes in here and basically does good play design. So what are we talking about? I think the most interesting part is that you have yourself a organization that's clearly ran very well, which is weird with Gilbert being the owner. And historically, I don't know if you guys all remember, but they're 51-10, best record in the Eastern Conference. Kenny Atkinson more than likely is going to win Coach of the Year. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen are all playing great. Evan Mobley's just become this consistent, basically fulfilling the potential that we saw at USC. I remember when he sent my alma mater home in the March Madness, and that's one of the most dominant power forward performances I've seen by a college player. Now, the offensive firepower, the defensive versatility and strength that they have just screams overall championship potential. First in the NBA in points per game, 123. First in offensive rating, 123 as well. This is a team that's the second best effective field goal percentage at 58.6. Top 5 in pace. I guess they're technically 6th, but they're basically tied for 5th. Donovan Mitchell is having allegedly a down year, but he's having one of the most efficient seasons. He's playing his best basketball, and he said it, okay, my stats are down, but we're winning. He's averaging 25, 5, and 5 almost. And Darius Garland bounces back from a down year where due to personal stuff and a broken jaw to a 21-7 season while being an absolute marksman from 3. Even though they're both 6'1", it's one of the deadliest backcourts. Then Mobley, 19-9, 56% from the field, and finally shooting threes, which is what a lot of us said was the last thing that was needed to get his game to an all NBA level, and he became arguably an all-star. Did get snubbed. Now, I think Jarrett Allen's another guy that 13-10, one of the most efficient, best at what he does centers in the league, who people at first thought he was kind of overpaid, and now seemingly could be underpaid. By the way, Evan Mobley was an all-star this year. Jarrett Allen was the snub. So sorry on that one. I had it vice versa, because Evan Mobley is having a great year. So I was in my head while I was talking about this, I searched it real quick because I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure Evan Mobley made the all-star. Jarrett Allen was the one who didn't, even though it's 13-10 on 71% while averaging over a block a game. Super efficient season. And the one to the point that you would be like, all right, it makes sense, even though his stats aren't overwhelming. They're just so efficient and he's on a good team. But no. And Max Strus, as they traded away Caris LeVert, him with Ty Jerome and Ty Jerome's college teammate from the other Cavaliers, DeAndre Hunter, have made this bench amazing. And we're still waiting, hopefully, for a Dean Wade return. But Strus, 38% after a slow start to the season, averaging almost 9 points a night, giving them the floor spacing that they've needed. While the rest of the team, as we said, Ty Jerome, been fantastic. Their defense is 7th, 4th in opponent effective field goal percentage. Just doing a really good job. Also top 10 in rebounding, 7th. So I think they've really put together an impressive group of players that just make a ton of sense when you look at them, with how they've been able to just easily and seamlessly just switch coaches out. One or two players in this team is drastically better, to the point that you have to wonder, how did they manage to do all this under Mr. Kenny Atkinson? But then you look at the rest of their time with JB Bickerstaff, it was kind of like offensive droughts that held them back, and the elite interior defense makes up for the shortcomings that they have offensive on the perimeter, and they dominate the boards, which I've always said, if you can physically impose your will, you can then, allow yourself to slowly demoralize your opponent. And make yourself have the ability to just, you can mask your shortcomings on the perimeter, like Rudy Gobert did so many years for the Utah Jazz with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley for Donovan Mitchell, allowing you to not have to worry, and then having a completely different unit off the bench to kind of be a change of pace. I really like it. And as I said, you're able to go from having two bigs that physically impose their will to then having DeAndre Hunter, Max Strus, Ty Jerome, who are all very, I think, heliocentric players who are going to just feed the hot hand. And they still have Isaac Okoro for on-ball defense, and Strus isn't anything to slouch at. DeAndre Hunter isn't either. Donovan Mitchell, when he tries, is decent, and they're also 11th in opponents' point per game. So people aren't scoring. It's the deep rotation, the multiple scoring options that they have. Their starting five is as well as any other: Boston, Denver, New York. If they can stay healthy, this is a good team.